All right, so this question says a group of friends decided to divide the $800 cost of a trip equally among themselves. When two of the friends decided not to go on the trip, those remaining still divided the $800 cost equally, but each friend's share of the cost increased by $20. How many friends were in the group originally? All right, so we can choose a variable for the number of friends who were in the group originally, right? So let's say it's X. We don't know what it is, right? So we're trying to find what X is. So the first thing we do is try and, express this word problem in, in the form of an algebra or an equation. All right, so given this X, I'm going to say that when we have X friends, how much did each one pay? Each one was going to pay 800 over X, right? Now, the number of friends has reduced by 2. So now we have X minus 2. With the X minus 2, if they are dividing the $800 equally, then each one is going to pay 800 over X minus 2, right? And in practical terms, you will notice that if the X minus 2 friends paid the same amount, meaning the $800, by dividing it among themselves, then each one is going to pay more, right? So this value here is bigger than this, right? And we are told that the share of each of the friends who actually went on the trip increased by $20, right? It means that this amount here is larger than the original amount by what? $20. Let me try and fix this. All right. So with this, we can write an equation such as this. We can say 800 over X plus $20 is equal to 800 over X minus 2, right? Remember, for you to make them equal, the $20 has to be factored into the original number of friends who were going to divide the $800, right? So you need to be careful with this portion, right? The word increase here, may tempt some people to simply add it to the amount, which is already $20 more, right? So to create the balance, you have to add it to the original or subtract it from the new. It's going to be the same thing. So this is the equation we have to solve. All right, right away we see we can cancel out some zeros, right? Or you can simply divide each term by 20, right? So if you do that, so let's divide by 20. By 20, I protect this with parentheses, and then I put my 20 here, right? So with this, I'll have the 0 will cancel, and then 80 divided by 2 is 40, right? And then 20 divided by 20 is 1. Remember, it's 1, it's not 0. And then the 80 here divided by 2 is 40. So let's try and arrange this. So we have 40 here over x plus, this is 1, is equal to, this is going to be 40 over x minus 2, right? Okay, so this is the equation we have to solve. So first step is to, multiply through by x. So it becomes 40 plus x. Remember, we're multiplying the whole equation by x. So this x cancels itself out. And then on the right hand side, we're going to have 40x over x minus 2, right? Now we can continue by multiplying the equation by this denominator here. So each term will have to be multiplied by this. So on the left, we'll have 40 in brackets x minus 2 plus, and this same term is multiplying the x. So it's going to be x in bracket x minus 2. And then on the right hand side, we'll have what? 40x, right? Okay, so let's continue over here. We expand, we have 40x minus 80, right? We're just distributing the 40 over, plus x times x is x squared. X times minus 2 is minus 2x is equal to 40x. All right, and then we continue to simplify this. Let's see if we can fit it over here. We notice that there's 40x here and then 40x here, which will cancel each other out, right? If you subtract the 40 from both sides. So we will have minus 80 plus x squared minus 2x is equal to 0. Remember, we just subtracted minus 40, right? We just subtracted 40x from both sides. So we have this quadratic equation to solve. So I'm going to try and bring it over here so that we have some space, right? We can rearrange this nicely so that we'll have x squared minus 2x minus 80 is equal to 0, right? And then we look at the coefficient of x in relation to the constant, which is minus 80. So we find two factors of 80 or minus 80, which when added together will give us minus 2. And that's going to be 8 and then minus 10, right? If you multiply 8 by minus 10, it's going to give you minus 80. So then we will have our x squared. So we're going to express this using these two, right? So we have x squared, and then we can say here minus 10x plus 8. Remember, we're just using these. 8x minus 80 equals 0. All right? Now, we can factor out x between the first two terms. So x minus 10, and then this plus sign comes here. Between these two terms, we can factor out the 8. So we have 8, then x minus 10 is equal to 0, right? So we have two main terms in this equation now. And then we look for what is common. X minus 10 is common. And then on the left hand side, we'll be left with x plus 8 from the right hand side. This is equal to 0. Once we're here, because these two are multiplying to give us 0, it means either of them, right, is equal to 0. So either this is 0 or that is 0, or both are 0. So using that analogy, we have x minus 10 is equal to 0, or x plus 8 is equal to 0. If we calculate this algebra, x is equal to 10, right? From here, the second one, we get x is equal to minus 8. Remember, since we are counting the number of friends, right, we can't get, negative number of count. So this one is out. The correct answer is 10, right? So the original number of friends in the group was 10. And you can go back and then, cross-check, right, using this equation here. So if there were 10 originally, they were going to divide the $800 amongst themselves. So each one was going to pay how much? $80, right? Now this has reduced to what? So let me put 10 here. This has reduced to 8, right? So if the 8 individuals are going to divide the $800, then each one was going to pay what? $100. This is perfect. You see the difference, right? The difference is what? 20. All right?